This is CGTN, China Global Television Network. .3 billion people live across this vast continent called Asia, and we are telling their stories. On this edition, China's Spider-Man. Meet the migrants who clean Shanghai skyscrapers, taking on a risky job to give their families a better life.
像我们在那个年代没得干，只能干，在我想打个工都不容易，所以你只能干点出体力的活嘛。你想干点别的也不行啊，也没那个本事。要生活，你不干怎么生活呢？对吧？
And clearing the bombs. The remnants of a US bombing campaign in the 1960s and 70s continue to haunt Laos, but its people are fighting back.
UXO is in everywhere in this country. People, it's fear to use the land.
I'm Han Bin, and this is Assignment Asia. Welcome to the program. Today we'll bring you stories about courage and survival, from gleaming skyscrapers of Shanghai to farmlands of Laos countryside. China owes much of its economic growth in the last decades to cheap labor by migrant workers. They endure life away from their loved ones to earn a living and escape poverty in their hometowns. In Shanghai, China's financial capital, we met workers who clean the city's high rises, as well as their children, for whose future they are toiling despite the high risks.
Shanghai, China's economic powerhouse. A city whose wealth was built on the labor of migrant workers. Ma Yunqi is one of them. He's been working here for 13 years, cleaning the windows and exteriors of the city's skyscrapers, a risky job for which he's been called Spider-Man.
那时候年龄小嘛，你也不怕，反正人家干你也上去干。那现在的年轻人肯定不行，他们吃不了这个苦。你像我们在那个年代没得干，你只能干，在我想打个工都不容易，所以你只能干点出体力的活嘛。 你想干点别的也不行啊，也没那个本事。要生活，你不干怎么生活呢？对吧？
For 7 hours a day, almost 7 days a week, he works while hanging in midair. It's a test of courage and health.
这个工作一开始是难。 后来干熟悉了，也就不觉得它难了，所以一直干到现在嘛。只有在最热的时候或最冷的时候，感觉比较难受。天天在上海做，把青春都献在上海了。但是你得到的是什么呢？得到就到老了再回家呗。
Migrant workers like Ma Yunqi are the backbone of China's economic growth. That growth has created immense wealth, but also a striking disparity between rich and poor, including workers. Lacking household registration, or hukou, migrants and their families do not have access to government services in the cities where they work. And once their contract ends, they must return home. Deng Jianbin was one of the first Spider-Men of Shanghai. Today he runs a cleaning business. He has witnessed the city's astounding urban growth.
我们在做这一行的时候，大家都觉得哎呀，蛮奇特的，城市新兴蜘蛛人。但是呢，我们危险性有多大，没有多少人知道的，是这样。你说金茂大厦这个一晃20几年下来了，那上海中心刚刚落成的，东方明珠也10几20年了。这些东西，我们做这一行的人啊，就是从这栋楼开始造起来，我们就历历在目。我通过这么多努力，今天有这个样子，可能觉得是一个幸运， 但是30年前我是一个务工者的时候，我也是坐在楼顶上，眼巴巴的半夜里面看着整个繁华的大上海，没有一扇窗是我的。所以说，你看到的美跟我欣赏的美不在一个水平上面。但从我们看出来很多辛酸，我们还是属于那种低阶层的，融入不进来。我只能说，我在这个城市里立脚了，但是真的城市能够接纳我了吗？还没有。
Deng Jianbing says the high-risk job can only be done by migrant workers, yet their income has not kept up with Shanghai's development, and fewer migrant workers want to do this job today.
China's fast economic growth has speeded up urbanization, and rural migrants have flowed to big cities like Shanghai for jobs and a chance to make it big. This economic upheaval comes at a human cost.
Ma Yunqi lives on the edge of the city and on the brink of poverty. He screams to rent this room with his wife Sun Fangfang, who's also a migrant worker. They left home out of economic necessity with tremendous emotional cost. Ma's income was 40 yuan a day, about $5 when he started. Today, he earns about 300 yuan, or about $40 a day. He says the job depends on his health, and he can never get rich, no matter how hard he works. And his family is still often short of money.
对，我从小就跟他说，这1分钱都是你爸的血汗钱。然后他一般情况下都不跟我要什么东西，因为他知道爸爸的辛苦。他婶婶家不是有那个视频吗？然后他跟我说，妈妈，你回来的时候一定要把爸爸带回来。只要钱够花就行。这是我女儿说的。
1年中间最多回去1次，剩下都是过年回去，能过个20天左右。再多一些就不够花的了呀。最大的支撑就是家里的人嘛，希望家里人过得好一点。
我就想着我们一家人平安就行，就是让你，条件就是再好，只要一家人都在一起，一大家都在一起，我心里非常开心。
Ma Yunqi's family is in a village in Anhui province, more than 10 hours away by bus. His 7-year-old daughter and 10-year-old son live with their grandparents. It's a common situation for so-called left-behind children and the elderly in rural China. It's hard to determine their exact numbers, but many children grow up in the countryside while their parents live and work elsewhere. There's barely any source of living in the village, so getting out was their only chance to escape poverty. The kids understand it's not easy to earn money.
爸爸不会放弃干活的。
为什么呢？
因为他什么样也得干呀，是为了挣钱。
因为他干活为了俺们。
We showed them a video of their father. It's their first time to see what he does for a living. They are worried about their father's safety.
去过上海只去过1遍。
但是到那里没法上学是吧？
搁上海那可不能上学。老师教我们富强、民主、和谐、自由、平等、公正、法治、爱国、敬业、诚信、友善，教我们这几个字。然后你妈妈在外面看着我们。妈妈讲，爸爸是为了挣钱，给我们买花裙子，还有买吃的。妈妈走的时候还给我5块钱，妈妈走的时候我都要哭了。你在上海好好注意身体，我在家好好管好小妹。
我 最大愿望就是想有钱，然后回家陪陪老人，陪小孩，就不出来打工了，就这样。
所以说我心里就是特别矛盾，但是现在小孩大了嘛，有时候他离开我，非常懂事，非常体谅他爸爸。然后我现在在这里照顾他嘛，我心里也好过一点点。
想法肯定是有，但是就是能在上海落户嘛。但是你做起来太难，那个就怕实现不了。我希望我们这一代人都吃那么多苦，我希望我们的孩子以后会过得比我们更好。
爸爸妈妈，我爱你。爸爸，你辛苦。
Working high above the streets of the metropolis, window cleaners like Ma Yunqi couldn't care less about the job's perils. They have their eyes on the goal, a brighter future for their families.
Cities like Beijing and Chengdu have begun efforts to reform their household registration system to give migrants access for education and healthcare. But experts say there's a long road ahead for the systems to benefit the majority of the migrant workers.
Coming up on Assignment Asia, how Laos is working to get rid of bombs left over from the Vietnam War.
Are we ready? China, a nation with the largest population on Earth, assuming a greater role economically and politically on the world stage. Understanding China is critical for all, though difficult for some. Behind the scenes of China's transformation, I'm Robert Lawrence Kuhn. Join me to get closer to China.
More than 4 decades after the Vietnam War, Laos continues to suffer from the deadly legacy of a bombing campaign by the United States. Some 80 million unexploded ordnance, or the UXOs, are still posing threat to life and limb, meaning dozens of lives every year. Ryan Mauser was in Laos, where survivors of UXO explosions are struggling to get on with their lives as people work to clear the bombs to make their country a safer place.
I was 8 years old. I just went to the rice field, and then I just digging for bamboo shoots, and then hit with the UXO and then exploded.
จากกลับเมืองหันแล้วก็ย่านจะไปขุดส่วนสุดดินนะก็เลยก็ไปดึกลิ้น3 คนไปตาย1อย่างช้อง
A clearance team scans a field for UXO, or unexploded ordnance, and unearths several items. They're mostly small cluster munitions or bombies, but also a couple of mortars. This is not a remote area in Laos. It's on the edge of a village where cattle graze and children play, and people grow rice and vegetables, or wood if they didn't fear it could cost them their limbs, livelihoods, and even their lives. This man lost his leg in 2014 after hitting a bombi while planting crops. He's being fitted with a prosthetic limb at a rehabilitation center in the Lao capital, taking steps to rebuild his life.
เสียขาแล้วก็บ่ได้เฮ็ดเวียกเฮ็ดงานช่วยครอบครัวเพราะว่าไปเฮ็ดเวียกบ่ได้เพราะมันมีความยุ่งยากขากระตัด มีความจำเป็นแล้วก็มาการใช้จ่ายอยู่ข้างนอกก็คือว่าแล้วมีขาดเกินๆเนาะบ่พอมีเพียงบ่พอมีความยุ่งยากครอบครัวก็บ่มีเงินมีคำเนี่ยเป็นครอบครัวทุกอย่าง
His injury is a legacy of a secret and relentless American bombing campaign that aimed to stop Vietnamese communist guerrillas from moving supplies and troops through Laos during the Vietnam War. Laos has the tragic distinction of being the most heavily bombed country in history based on its population size. US forces made more than 500,000 bombing runs and dropped more than 2 million tons of munitions on the country between 1964 and 1973. It's the anti-personnel cluster munitions that have caused the most lingering harm. US bombing scattered 270 million of them randomly across fields and forests and villages. Some 30% never exploded. This man is still suffering 9 years after his fateful encounter with a bombie.
เมื่อที่เกิดระเบิดมันถึกเนี่ยเนาะเพราะว่าเอาไปเห็นลูกบุญนะอายุประมาณ12 ปีเพราะว่าผู้จ้างอย่างไรกำลังคิดดูกับแม่เอาไปเล่นบ่ฮู้ว่ามันสิแตกใส่เจ้าของว่าเหตุผลแบบใดนะฮู้ชื่อมันคือลูกบุญนะเนาะเลยก็ไปดึกลิ้น3 คนไปตาย1อย่างช้องโอเค
Previous prosthetics caused him pain and left him with an infection. He's set to have an operation and then he hopes get a better fitting prosthetic. For UXO survivors, the psychological wounds can be as damaging as the physical ones. This impoverished farmer's family thought they had struck it lucky in 2014 when they found a metallic object in a field. They tried to sell it to Vietnamese scrap metal dealers who came to the village.
เวียดมาซื้อแล้วเวียดว่ามีขี้เมียงแล้วเขาแล้วเคาะขี้เมียงกันออกแล้วเราจะเป็นผู้ไปขายเฮ้อผู้น้อยเขาก็นั่งอยู่กลางบ้านหั่นว่าจีอันขายเหล็กเฮ้อเวียดหั่นแล้วเวียดแล้วเคาะขี้เมียงออกแล้วมันละแตะซื้อแล้วถือ3แม่ลูกชาย2 คนกับอันแม่ผู้นึงเวียดนั่นถือผู้หนึ่งตายพร้อมเลยเวียดนั่นผู้หนึ่งอันบ่ถือเวียดมา2 คนเฮาราคากุดกระบาดเลยเบื้องหนึ่งละหักบ้านหนึ่งละตาบอดบ้านหนึ่งละเฮาจะหลอกอ่างนี่
It also blew their house to bits.
แต่กี้เฮาเจ็บมาเมื่อเฮาบ่ลงฮอดเฮือนหมู่คู่มาห้องเห็นหมู่คู่ไปก็เลยก็ให้ว่าบ่อยากไปก็เลย
But she and her son are now on the path to recovery, thanks to a group founded by a man who quit school in despair at age 8 after losing his hand to UXO.
One time I met with the one person. He also he have the same situation like me. He lost hand, but he still got a job and he still work with the government, and that is very good experience for me. And then that's why I would like to come back to school.
After a fellow UXO survivor killed himself because he couldn't get the help he needed, Tumi founded the Quality of Life Association. The organization provides educational funding and livelihood training and teaches handicraft making skills to families of UXO victims.
แล้วเพิ่นไปเอ็ดให้เอ็ดนาได้เอ็ดให้ตอนนั้นเพิ่นอยู่บ้านนอกเพิ่นบ่มีนาแล้วเพิ่นเอ็ดให้แล้วถือแล้วจุกเก็ดไม้ให้มันเป็นกองแล้วจุกแล้วถือมาแล้วเตะถือมาหลังจากตอนนั้นแล้วเพิ่นถือแล้วอย่าเจ็บแล้วเพิ่นแล้วว่าไปเอ็ดให้เอ็ดนาบ่ได้เนาะ
All of the UXO survivors, they have traumatic experience, and then they have kind of psychosocial issues like this, and of course, and this is part of the difficulty, try to help them. And if we have someone who have the same situation, come to talk, that would be, better.
Helping survivors is only one side of the challenge UXO poses. The other is to survey and clear the land to prevent more tragedies.
UXO is in everywhere in this country. We have altogether 18 provinces. Obviously, UXO in 17 provinces contaminated, Lots of the agriculture land contaminated by UXO. People, it's a fear to use the land.
Land battles as Laos fought for independence from France and the civil struggle between the Pathet Lao and Royal Lao forces have contributed to a huge amount of large bombs, artillery shells, mortars, rockets, grenades and landmines that still lie unexploded in this country's soil. Government agency UXO Lao and 4 international organizations, including the UK-based Mines Advisory Group, are working to clear the land of unexploded ordnance. MAG has cleared 20 million square meters and destroyed 115,000 items over the past 8 years.
If it is in a village and the item is safe to move, we'll move it. If it's in an open area such as this, you know, why is there a need to move it? You know, we can destroy it there and then, rather than putting any added risk into any situation.
98% of MAG staff are locals. More than a quarter of them are women, including this all-woman team.
เก็บกู้ให้พ่อแม่ประชาชนเพิ่นก็ดีใจเพิ่นมีความรู้สึกดีใจที่ให้ลูกมาช่วยเหลือทำลายระเบิดหรือว่ากวดกู้ระเบิดออกจากประเทศลาวช่วยเหลือพ่อแม่ประชาชน
Over the past 2 decades, the people of Laos have taken full charge of managing the UXO problem. They've honed their skills at clearing bombs, rehabilitating victims, and manufacturing prosthetic limbs. This non-profit group called COPE helps UXO survivors get back on their feet, literally.
Before the project started, local people, when they have amputees or accident, and they try to, survive or moving around, they made their homemade prosthetic, like made from bamboo or wood. When they come to our center and they receive a new prosthetic that we provide, and then they also donate their own prosthetic legs.
The threat of UXO has had a profound economic impact in a country where most people are subsistence farmers and nearly a quarter live in poverty.
It makes a huge difference whether you can work on a land that you know is safe, as we would know in other places, or whether you have to work on a piece of land as a farmer and know that if you have too heavy equipment, you put yourself at risk. You put yourself at risk anyways, but then you put it even more if you use equipment that would help your farming to be more productive, your agriculture to be more performing.
In this country, there are 96 districts. Consider that 47 districts are poor, in which 41 districts suffer from UXO contamination. Obviously, we see that UXO is a high correlation to the poverty of the people in this country.
The ever-present danger of UXO also hampers the development of roads and tourism. This area is known as the Plain of Jars, comprising dozens of megalithic archaeological sites dating back at least 2,000 years. It was also one of the most heavily bombed areas of Laos. The first of these sites was cleared of unexploded ordnance about a decade ago, making them safe for tourists to visit, but many other sites remain heavily contaminated.
Ho Chi Minh Trail through Laos.
Despite the United States' lead role in Laos's half-century of suffering, people here welcomed President Barack Obama's visit in September 2016 and his promise to do more to finally rid the country of UXO. Although they've developed wide-ranging expertise, the Lao government and local NGOs say they still need international funding to assist victims and find and clear the bombs. To put the new American funding into perspective, the US has pledged $90 million for UXO surveying and clearance over 3 years, having spent $100 million over the previous 2 decades. Today, Laos is leading the fight to ban the production and use of cluster bombs.
When I was a teenager, I lost my older brother because of the cluster. I know how hard is it, So that's why I asked the country that produce and use, please stop it. Please stop it and please destroy it. Don't use anymore. No need want this, horrible weapons in this world.
And we also have been kind of...
While some survivors like Tumi have forged ahead with their lives, others are just starting to put the pieces back together.
แล้วหลังจากไร้ค่าแล้วก็จะพยายามช่วยเลี้ยงครอบครัวสิ่งอันใดที่เฮ็ดได้ก็สิเฮ็ดที่ต้นก็ปลูกผักปลูกมีเลี้ยงเป็ดเลี้ยงไก่ช่วยครอบครัวทำมาหากินให้มีความสะดวกเพื่อพึ่งพาอาศัยตัวเองว่าตัวเองเป็นแบบนี้ต้องได้เฮ็ดกินแต่ตัวเองบ่เฮ็ดก็บ่มีใครเฮ็ด
Laos still has millions of cluster munitions and other unexploded perils in its soil. And with or without US funding, it's likely to take decades before people here can plant their gardens, plow their fields, or let their children play, free from fear. For Assignment Asia, I'm Ryan Meltzer in Sieng Quang, Laos.
In 2016, the U.S. Congress earmarked $19.5 million in efforts to clear Laos of bomb. The Lao government and people hope the pledges would remain intact even with a new U.S. administration in power. You can learn more about this and all our stories on today's program on our website www.assignment-asia.com. That's all the time we have for this week. I'm Han Bin. Thanks for watching and join us again on Assignment Asia.
From emerging powers to expanding partnerships, from fighting poverty to combating climate change, booming economies, war-ravaged nations, and everything in between. We capture the changes affecting the most dynamic and diverse continent on the planet, taking you beyond the headlines to the people and their stories. Asia Today, delivering Asia to the world.
Triangle, circle, or both? A story can take on a whole new meaning when looked at from a different perspective. I'm Liu Xin. Join me as I seek the hidden truth, asking direct questions to get answers that are to the point. Challenge your perceptions, Monday through Friday on CGTN, and get to the point.